favorite tools to use, or tricks to use as I call them, is a grounding technique that folks call 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So grounding techniques are used to kind of bring someone back to what's going on around them, especially if you notice that your brain is just kind of going and having lots of just like sort of unhelpful thinking. You're kind of dwelling on something or obsessing on something. So you just make sure that you're, in a comfortable place. So you could sit down, maybe you're trying to sleep, so you're doing it in your bed. Take a couple breaths, and then you are going to look for 5 things that you see, and we're going to use each of the senses. So the first one's 5 things that you see. You can kind of name them to yourself or acknowledge them in the room. And then you can move on to 4, so 4 things that you can touch or feel. Then you're going to move on to 3, so 3 things you can hear, and you can name those. So I can hear the air conditioner. Maybe I can hear a car on the street. Move on to 2 things you can smell. That could be a little bit hard. See if you can smell 2 things. If you can't, you can move on. And the last one is taste. So 1 thing that you can taste. Okay? If any of those don't work, if your mind wanders off and starts thinking about those thoughts that were just not helpful and kind of just going, you just come right back to it. So you can just start over. So, okay, I got lost. I'm not going to beat myself up about that. I'm going to come back to, what are 5 things I see? And you look around the room and look for your 5 things and name them to yourself. And then keep on going. The order doesn't super matter for which sense you do first. So, it might be hard to think of 5 things you can taste, which is why we don't do taste first. But you don't even have to remember the order. So you use your 5 senses and you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one thing that's, I think, very important is just to practice that at other times. So the first time I came into contact with that grounding technique, it was a friend of mine who told me about it and kind of showed me how to use it. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to do that. When I'm really upset, there is no way. I'm not going to do breathing exercises. I'm not going to do this technique. I'm just upset. And you know what? I actually was able to use it, and I noticed that it worked. You could have a little picture that tells you what to do, a little graphic that you save in your phone. If you're often on your computer, you could have it on there. You can have it on paper and pull it out of your backpack. So anything to sort of remind you that when you're not doing so well, you can pull this tool out. So we can practice things like that over the phone during crisis counseling, if that's something you want to do.